Okay, so in this challenge review, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I would implement both methods of restraining the player within the map, as well as creating the warp feature, or the wrap feature. So similar to how we created the Y position restraints, we're going to do the same thing for the X. So I'll write out some pseudocode. So with player on the X, and let me just get the correct value here. So I want to restrain it to about here. So that's about 8. And because this map is even, it's parallel on the other side, so -8 would put me identically on the other side. So as long as I'm at these numbers, I don't want to be able to go past them. So here, if player on the X is greater than or equal to 8, we're going to say player X pose equals 8. And likewise, we'll go ahead and create an else if that's going to do the opposite for the -8. So if, create an if statement, if the transform.position.x is greater than or equal to 8, and you don't have to do greater than or equal to, I'm just doing greater than or equal to. I can also add an equal sign here. It's just for clarity. And just to keep it consistent, I guess I will remove it. So here, if transform.position.x is greater than 8, then we are going to say transform.position equals a new vector 3. I want to change the x-axis to be 8. But I want to keep my y the same. So transform.position.y, and we're going to keep keep the z at 0. So now we're done there. And then here we'll go do an else if, and we'll go ahead and check the same condition. Transform.position.x is less than -8. Then we're going to restrain you to -8. So we're going to say transform.position equals a new position, -8 for the x, our y stays the same, and our 0 for the z. Okay, so if we go ahead and save this, we are now we're now being restrained within the entire map. And as you can see here, I can't go off the screen on the left. I also can't go off the screen on the right. So now how would I go about creating the warp feature, or the wrap feature? So let's go and do that next. So I'm going to undo or comment out. I'm going to remove this implementation because I'll be continuing in this game using the wrap feature. So what I want to do here is, let me get the value I'm checking for. So I'm going to run the game. And the value I'm checking for is if my player is all the way off the right of the screen. And it did not compile. Hold on, I have to save my scene, save my script. Head back into Unity. Go ahead and run it. Alrighty, so here what I'm checking for is if my player is completely off the screen, which is about 9.5. So if I go to 9.5, I need to appear at -9.5 so that I can keep moving. So let's go ahead and implement this. So here we'll write out some pseudocode. So if player position on the X is greater than 9.5, position on the X needs to be -9.5. And likewise, we'll do the same thing with the else if, checking the reverse. So if it's less than. So here, we're going to do if transform.position.x is greater than 9.5f. If it's greater than 9.5f, then we're going to go ahead and say transform.position equals a new position. And we're going to go ahead and say -9.5f. And that will put us on the opposite side. Our y is going to stay whatever value it currently is. So transform.position.y. And our z value will remain 0. So let's go ahead and save that. And we should appear on the left side when I move all the way off the screen on the right. So let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to move all the way to the right, and you can see we wrapped. Now let's go ahead and create the same implementation for the left side. So here, we'll have another else if, because we're checking the same condition here. Else if transform.position.x is less than -9.5f, then we're going to do the exact same thing. Transform.position equals a new position, and then we're going to appear positive. So 9.5f for the positive side. Transform.position.y doesn't change, and 0 for Z. Alrighty, let's go ahead and save this and see if we have a working wrapping feature. So we'll move all the way to the right, we appear at the left, and if I move all the way to the left, I appear at the right. So now we have a completed wrapping feature, and we have successfully finished our movement system. In the next video, we'll be cleaning up our code and getting ready to move on for the next section.